Welcome back. This exciting video is about letterology secrets, simply understood. In Arabic, تبسيط مفهوم أسرار علم الحروف وحساب الجمل. So let's get started. First, we'll touch a little bit on the history of Abjad and see how that relates to علم الحروف, letterology. As you may know, the Semitic languages that were developed in the Middle East over the past few thousand years were either East Semitic or West, North, and South. So in the East region of the Middle East, and the Akkadian language was developed. In the western part and central part and the northwest, we have the Arabic, the Aramaic, the Canaanite, and the Hebrew languages. So this is a partial view of this whole chart. I just want to focus on these languages that are currently spoken in our day and age in 2022. So Arabic, of course, is still a modern language that's being spoken by a lot of people. Aramaic is spoken in certain villages in the Middle East, such as Ma'lula in Syria. Assyrian and Chaldean, also referred to as Ashuri and Kuldani, they're still spoken in the certain regions of Iraq. Nabatean is an extinct language, but apparently it kind of gave rise to a certain dialect in the Palestinian area. So we have, and then we have the Phoenician, of course, is extinct. We have also the Canaanite language, the west coast of Asia, kind of developed into the Hebrew language, from which came the Ashkenazi dialect, the Babylonian, Italian, that's kind of surprising, Mizrahi, and the Palestinian. So these are the different languages. So the current spoken languages are Arabic, a little bit of Aramaic, a little bit of Assyrian, Chaldean, of course, Palestinian accent, and then, of course, the Hebrew, Italian. So the question is, what is Abjad, and what are the consonants, and what is the Hisab al-Jummal? In Arabic, ما هو أبجد؟ ما هي الحروف الساكنة؟ وما هو حساب الجمل? So Abjad is derived from pronouncing the first four letters of the Arabic alphabet order, A, B, J, D, in its original order. So this is not the current version of Arabic alphabet, but it's the ancient one. The Arabic alphabet used to be organized in this way. It would start like Abjad, Hawaz, Hatti, Kalamon, Safas, Qarshat, Thakh, Dad, Dagh. So that's the sequence of the Arabic alphabet, but that's the ancient one. Now, this ancient ordering of the Arabic alphabet matches the older version of Aramaic, Phoenician, and Hebrew, and other Semitic languages. And specifically, it starts with Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. An Abjad is a writing system which is only consonants. And in Arabic, we call them al-huruf al-sakina, or the silent letters. So the silent letters can be pronounced in any way you want if they don't have any vowels. So here we are leaving the vowel sounds to be inferred by the reader. And this is one of the reasons why a certain word would be pronounced differently depending on its context in Arabic. So those people who are not native Arabic speaker, they would have to not only learn the alphabet, but also learn the vowels and the movements of the letters in order to be able to pronounce them correctly. The Abjad numerals, also called Hisab al-Jummal, are a decimal alphabetic numeral system, or alphanumeric code, which is the 28 letters of the Arabic alphabet are assigned a numerical value. And this has been used a long time ago, around the 3rd century. Why are there 28 letters in the Abjad alphabet with consonants? In Arabic, لماذا يوجد 28 حرفا في الحروف الساكنة الأبجدية? Surprisingly, because there are 28 lunar mansions. So if you have not seen my previous video regarding lunar mansions and fixed stars, please take a look at that. In that video, I described the reason behind the division of the 28 lunar mansions and fixed stars. In Arabic, we call them Manazil al-Qamar wa Mawaqi' al-Nujum. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's go here to the next slide, which is a zoomed in version of the previous slide. We have here the names of the fixed stars in Arabic. And we have the Arabic alphabet in the Abjad format, right? Not the current format, but the ancient format. And we have the numerical value that's been assigned to that letter of the alphabet. So Aleph, or A in English, has a numerical value of 1. And of course we have Ba, number 2, Jim, number 3, Dal, number 4, Hal is 5, Waw 6, Zain is 7, Ha is 8, Ta is 9, and Ya is 10. Now here this is where the numbers jump. We go from 10 to 20. So Kaf now is 20, Lam is 30, Mim is 40, and Noon is 50. In the next half of this, we have Sin is 60, Ain is 40, and then as they get to 100, they jump 100. So Qaf is 100 and Ra is 200. Sheen is 300. And we get to the last one, which is in the 100 sequence, which is Ghain. Ghain is 1000. That's the maximum value that's given to the Abjad letters. This is another version of the Abjad numerical values. I added this table for those who like to read the name in English and the transliteration in English as well. Let's take the example of Al-Basmala. So Abjad and a Basmala example has to do with invoking the first verse of the Quran and its numerical values. So the first verse of the Quran is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which is in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. Now, before we go into the numerical analysis of that, you can see here the rod calculus, that's kind of ancient system that's common to almost all cultures. We have that in Japan, in China, and even in the Roman numerals over here. You can see that they are very similar to that. So this is actually a Chinese version of the rod calculus, which you just add one dash for number 1, 2 parallel dashes for number 2, and 3 dashes for number 3. That's very, very common for primitive languages. And from which came the Roman numerals, which you all know. We use that for numbering paragraphs or outlines and items and lists. This version is the keypad version of a mobile phone. It has both the Indian and the Arabic numerals next to each other. So what's interesting about this is that the Arabic numerals was transferred to Europe and was used by the Europeans, while the Arabs themselves adopted the Indian numerals. Isn't that surprising? Abjad numerals are also used to assign numerical values to Arabic words for the purpose of numerology and cryptography. The most known and auspicious is the numerology of Al-Basmala. Again, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. Basmala itself has a numerical value of 786. Of course, that's taken the Arabic alphabet, not English. If you add them letter by letter in cumulative value, you end up with the number of 786. So what I've done, I've taken the 786 number and added 7 plus 8 plus 6, that's equal to 21. That can be further reduced into the number 3. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And that's the root number for the numerical value of 786. The name Allah itself it has the value of 1 plus 30 plus 30 plus 5. That's Alif plus Lam plus Lam plus Ha equals 66. Now that's interesting. So if you haven't seen my previous video regarding numerology, you may want to take a look at that before you watch this video. And in that video, I described the root numbers and the master numbers in numerology. So in this case, we have the name of Allah, Alif, Lam, Lam, Ha, amounts to the numerical value of 66, which is the master number, right? It's a persona of a spiritual teacher. And it's the other surprising part of this is that the root number for all the spiritual master numbers from 66 down or up to 99 are odd numbers, right? So if you take the 66 divide by 5.5, you end up with 3. If you take the 77 divide by 5.5, you end up with 5. 88 divide by 5.5, you end up with 7. And 99 divide by 5.5, you end up with 9. Now, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim itself, the first verse in the Quran, can be reduced to number 3. Now, this is interesting because that's the root number of 66, which is Allah. Okay, so that a lot of Islamic scholars are very interested in the numerology of the Quran itself. So you can refer to that. Master numbers 77, 88, and 99 are also master numbers that can be derived from other names of Allah, such as Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik Al-Quddus, As-Salam Al-Mu'min, etc. In English, the Merciful, the Compassionate, the Peace. Those other names of Allah can be reduced to those master numbers as well. So let's take a look at some references, shall we? The most significant works of Arabic and Islamic scholars come from Al-Khalil, Al-Khawarizmi, Al-Kindi. Now, Al-Khawarizmi is a very famous Arabic scientist and mathematician who is the founder of algebra, Al-Jabr in Arabic, algorithm, which is named after him. So algorithm is Al-Khawarizmi, and equations in mathematics. But what's interesting is that he promoted the use of the Sanskrit numerals that are shown up here, right? So in a way, these people are responsible for importing the use of the Brahmi numerals from India into the Arabic and Islamic numerals. So Al-Khalil, who lived around the year 786 AD, and then Al-Khawarizmi in 847, and then later on came Al-Kindi. So Al-Khalil was the first, and he laid the foundation for this numerology and letterology in the Arabic language. Al-Khalil wrote the book Kitab al-Ain, or the fountain source. And he's the one who put the harakat system in the Arabic language, Nidam al-Harakat. These are the vowels marks in the Arabic script that we use all the time. Very important scholar, although he's not very well known. Okay, so he's not known because who came after him, Al-Khawarizmi and Al-Kindi, were very strong scholars. So they produced a lot of work on their own, and they built their knowledge based on Al-Khalil. So Al-Kindi, who lived around 873 AD, has written hundreds of books on metaphysics, ethics, logic, psychology, medicine, pharmacology, mathematics, astronomy, astrology, and optics. Al-Kindi is one of the fathers of cryptography, building on the work of Al-Khalil. Okay, so his book entitled The Manuscript on Deciphering Cryptographic Messages gave rise to the birth of cryptanalysis and statistical inference, methods of breaking ciphers, notably frequency analysis. Using his mathematical and medical expertise, he was able to develop a scale that would allow doctors to quantify the potency of their medication. So, very important guy. Al-Kindi played an important role in introducing the Sanskrit numerals to the Islamic science with Al-Khawarizmi. Very important scholar indeed. We hope that you enjoyed this video and find it informative. And if you did, please feel free to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below about any topic that you would like us to cover in the future. Thank you and take care.